Baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Beautiful weather at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals are home for 6, beginning with 3 against the Cleveland Indians. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Joel Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery are coming up. The Royals went just 1-4 through New York and Chicago, but it's good to be home. The last time we were sitting in these chairs, the Royals were finishing a 6-2 homestand, and they were 3 games above in the division.
Players absolutely love the full house at the K. Plus the home cooking. They're 17-7 here at the K. On the road, the cooking's not as good.
And the Royals, they're still 500 on the road. And we have to have some perspective. Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. Look at where the Royals were last year. They were 3 games below 500 at this point. Now they're 10 games above 500. All the numbers have improved, but the run differential, the Royals minus 19 at this point last year, plus 49 this year. They've had some huge additions to the lineups, including a guy, Hud, who's reborn.
That's right. 1 extra run has meant a lot. Now, Moustakas, we all know and marvel at his adjustments that he's made. He deserves all the credit. The M&M boys used to be up in Minnesota. Now they're right here in Kansas City. Morales, add him to the picture. There's some run production. Morales and Moustakas, they're making a big difference in that Royals lineup.
The Royals have already won 2 series against the Indians, but they come to town playing very well. They had a good May. They've won 10 of their last 13, and they will face former Indian Jeremy Guthrie tonight, and Joel and Monty will discuss him right after this.
On to lose a couple of games. He has since won his last 2 and looking to win 3 straight for the first time since 2011. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. Joel Goldberg alongside of Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. Good to be home, and maybe good for Jeremy Guthrie to get back on the hill. When you were a reliever, you could take a bad outing and get back the next day. He's had to wait a long time after his worst career outing.
Right, if you have a bad game, you definitely want to get back on the mound as fast as you possibly can. Unfortunately, Guthrie has had to wait over a week. But if you think about the 2 starts he had prior to that start on Monday, he was actually good and looked like he had things in order. Didn't look much different on that start on Monday. It's just his stuff wasn't as good.
Well, you see it too. Allowed a total of 3 earned runs in his last 4 starts following his start, where he's allowed 5 or more earned runs. How much does that speak to just the veteran presence?
Well, that's what it takes. You have to understand what you are. You have to be yourself, and I'm sure Jeremy Guthrie will go out the night and be himself. Jeremy
Guthrie set to take on the team that drafted him back in 2002. Royals and Indians coming up next.
High-speed internet, the Uverse, revolves around you. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. By your Kansas City Chevy dealers. Go to your local Kansas City area Chevy dealer for great prices on all the new 2015 vehicles. And by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. Top to bottom, only 7 games separate last place from first place. The Royals had a 3-game lead the last time they were home over Minnesota and Detroit. Now they trail by a half game. The Cleveland Indians have really picked things up on offense. They had a very good month of May as a team, led by their pitching, but their offense has also spiked, and nobody better than Jason Kipnis.
No, when you're in the company of shoeless Joe Jackson for best most hits from the organization for 1 month, you've done something. Now you see the first 7 guys in that lineup, they all have really good numbers against Guthrie. Jeremy Guthrie, he's got to be able to keep that ball down. Pitch to contact.
And Kia puts us in the driver's seat. Guthrie is making his first start in quite a while. It was a week ago Monday at Yankee Stadium when he had the worst start of his career, and that spiked his overall ERA up to 6.7.
Yeah, he's not that bad. He had a bad game. That's all you can say. Strike one will be his key, getting ahead of this very patient offense. They walk more than any team in Major League Baseball and keep the ball in the yard. Guthrie, he's got some nice pitches, fastball, cutter, change, and a curve. He's got to keep the ball down, and however, the Royals win behind him. They are 54-34 in his 88 starts, so he's got to get through that first inning. That'll be the key.
There are the numbers you were talking about. The Indians' career individual career numbers against Guthrie. Guthrie was a first-round pick of the Indians back in 2002. He made his big league debut with them, but he's had a tough time. His career ERA is over 6 against his former team. Jason Kipnis, and the last time the Royals faced the Indians were doing very little on offense. Jason Kipnis was ice cold, and Terry Francona, to try and get him and the Indians going, they had just moved him into the leadoff spot for that Royals Indians series. He didn't do much in that series, but in the month of May, Jason Kipnis had a .511 on base percentage. Long run for Moustakas, and it's back into the third row.
Yep, wind's going to push that one out. It's flowing out of the south from the right field foul pole to the left, so that help get that ball in the stands. It'll help righties with the power, and lefties it might knock some down.
That is most likely your American League Player of the Month, as he led the major leagues in batting average, on base percentage, runs, hits, doubles, and he is among the league leaders overall this year in all of those categories.
It's crazy. 51 hits, 30 runs in 1 month. Man, that'd have been a great season for me. This guy's a player.
Two and two.
Yep. Jeremy Guthrie, you know, that first inning, talking to all pitchers, they all struggle. I talked with Edison Volquez before the game today about his first innings. He says, sometimes I got to throw more pitches out there in the bullpen just to make sure I'm good and loose. Guthrie, he knows what he's got to do. And he's so far, when he's missing down.
1/3 of the runs Guthrie has allowed this year have come in the first inning.
They all walk. They got great eyes, very patient, very selective.
You're cutting yourself short. You had 5 seasons of 51 hits and 30 runs.
That's got to be a typo. Seriously.
Left center field, slicing, and Alex Gordon. What a way to start the homestand.
First batter of the game, Jay Gutz is tipping his cap as well as the rest of them. And why not? That ball on contact had double written all over it. And Alex Gordon didn't have to dive for it, but he was fully extended. That ball's hitting towards the gap. Perfect angle, perfect route, perfect play. That's why he wears the platinum. Best defensive player in the American League, period.
Now ball 1 to Carlos Santana.
You know, first batter of the game, that can make a difference sometimes. 3-2 count. Guthrie wanted to get that first guy in the worst way, and that ball didn't look like it was going to be caught on contact. That could really lift up Guthrie. There they are, folks. Look at them. Write them in. Get them in. Get those votes in for the Stars.
Santana, who hit 7 home runs against the Royals last year, 5 of those in one series here. The home run swing.
Vote this guy in, folks. Signs right in back of him. There it is. Oh, that's that a beauty, and a nice soft belly landing onto Trevor turf.
And now 3-2 on Santana. So there could be a runner at second base. Nobody out. Kipnis runs well. He could have a runner at third base right now with nobody out. Guthrie's pitching out of the stretch. Pitching with stress right away in the first inning. Got that in on Santana. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes. Instead, he's out of the windup, pitching with 1 out and nobody on. Alex Rios there to make the play. 2 down. And a look at the Royals defensively. Well, here's the way the Royals had planned to play the majority of the games this year, but with Alex Rios out, Alcides Escobar's been out a couple of times, Omar Infante. It's only the 6th time this year that they've had the opening day defensive alignment.
Moose missed 3 games because he had to go home in the bereavement list, but they're at full strength. It's great to see. Hopefully they can get some games on now. Ned Yost is talking about the off days. Too many of them.
Royals have pitched Michael Brantley well this year. They had trouble with him last year. Just .227 against the Royals so far this season. This is the 3rd series already between the Royals and the Indians. Royals took 2 out of 3 in each of the first 2. Two and 1.
Seeing a 94-mile-an-hour fastball from Guthrie at his age tells me that he's in fine physical shape. And he's very well prepared. Is this guy mentally and physically, as Dave Island has told me more than once, is the most prepared in those 2 categories of any of his starters. He's due for a bounce back. He knows how important it is to get through the 1st inning, and he's almost out of it.
3-2 on Brantley.
All 3 hitters so far in the first, 3-2 counts. One was a fastball that Kipnis lined out, and the other was a fastball that Santana skied.
And Brantley will take a walk. Hud told you that the Indians will walk. They will gladly take a base on balls. They lead the American League with the most walks, 197, with Brantley going to first. And that'll bring up Brandon Moss. You will notice a trend that it's going to be one left-hand batter after another against Guthrie in the Indians lineup. Moss way out in front, no balls, 1 strike. Yan Gomes is the only right-hand batter in there. Everyone else either left-handed or a switch hitter.
It's a stacked lineup against Guthrie, and one of the reasons why is lefties have had pretty good success. 8 homers. Keep the ball in the yard.
That's the most allowed to left-hand batters in the American League.
Brantley 7 for 7 this year in steals.
2-1.
Guthrie, he's got some good pickoff move at first base, quick feet.
Good changeup fading away. 2-2 on Moss.
That's going to be a key pitch for Guthrie against these left-handed hitting Indians. Ball moves away from him. Tough to square up that ball when it's moving away.
He's got to have a good fastball, though. I mean, that fastball up and in trying to tie up Moss. I mean, That's a good changeup if the Indians are convinced that he's going to throw some fastballs.
That's right. He's got to be able to get that established, Rhino, like you said. But that's the second 94 I've seen today. Guthrie's got plenty on it. He's got to be located.
4 straight hitters have been 3 balls 2 strikes. And Moss out into right field. Alex Rios is there, so it's a long inning. 27 pitches, but Alex Gordon's defensive play to begin the game set the tone. So Guthrie, who gave up 8 runs, 7 hits in his last start in the first inning, has a scoreless first tonight. All time in Royals history in wins. He's got a couple of Royals Hall of Famers to chase down. 2 behind Dick Howser and 8 behind Whitey Herzog for most wins in Royals history. And they're talking about the Royals lined up defensively. Here's their batting order presented by State Farm, and these are the 9 that the Royals plan to have all season long. And the depth of this batting overhead, you got Salvador Perez hitting 8th.
Yeah, you know, that's a pretty good lineup when you got that bat down the orders. Productive as he's been with runners in scoring position, he'll be able to clean up the scraps.
28-year-old Carlos Carrasco, 66 strikeouts in 57 1/3 innings. So we'll see how that plays out. A strikeout pitcher against a team that has the fewest strikeouts in the major leagues.
Got a big fastball, no doubt about it. 92 to 98 miles an hour. He'll top anywhere in there. The average is about 94, but he's firm with that pitch. He's got a slider and a changeup and a curveball to go with the fastball.
Your best shot is the fastball. That's his highest opponent's average.
That's right. Every hitter loves it if it's down the middle.
Carrasco pitches exclusively out of the stretch. And with a fastball at 96, he has a 3-pitch strikeout against Alcides Escobar.
He'll try to establish that pitch just like he did on Escobar, and then he'll adjust as they adjust to his fastball.
Mike Moustakas is hitting .320, which is impressive, but it pales in comparison to what he's done against the Indians this year. He's hit .480 against Cleveland, and he had a good year last year against the Indians as far as home runs go.
Confident young man. Indians playing him straight up. Maybe a slight pull on the left side of the infield. He's hunting his pitch. Carrasco has been really good all year long, but the left-handers, wow, he's been exceptionally good against them. 30 strikeouts and 91 at-bats against lefties this year. It's that good changeup that he'll use that goes away, kind of like Guthrie. Sliders in on their hands and climbs the ladder with that power fastball.
And a fastball at 96 at the knees, 2-2. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mike Moustakas is just one of several Royals who had a tough time during the road trip in New York and Chicago. We discussed this in Chicago. I still wonder what that bottom of the first inning in Game 1 in New York did to set the tone for the rest of that series, with the Yankees hitting home run after home run. The Royals just seemed to get out of their approach in that entire Yankee series. Santana sliding to a knee, and then he'll take it to the bag himself. Carrasco was a little late arriving. 2 down.
Yeah, right now it's almost like the Royals offense was saying, okay, we can slug with you, and it kind of took them out of their game.
We have not seen Yan Gomes yet this year. Gomes went down very early this season with a knee injury, so he's back and one of the elite catchers in the American League.
It's a huge lift for this team, defensively and offensively. Santana, he's not known for his glove work, but he pulled out some leather there. Santana, he's bounced around from third base to catcher, and now first base this year. That's the best spot for the Cleveland Indians for him, as Yan Gomes is really a solid catch and throw guy.
There's a good idea. I don't know if you've seen Lorenzo Cain do that yet this year.
Especially off the power fastball. That's not easy to do.
Our Toyota League leaders for tonight. Royals among the league leaders in rankings. Paulo Orlando still leading the league with his 5 triples. Alex Gordon hasn't had a huge year as far as RBIs go, but his RBIs, most of them have really meant something. 12 go-ahead RBIs. Now swinging, and Cain gets it in between Chisenhall and Ramirez for a 2-out single.
Won't take the Royals long to figure out that fastball if he keeps throwing them in there like that, as they can hit the fastball. They don't strike out that much. See, there's a little 3/4 action, 2-seamer that had some good movement, but it was right over the nitro zone. Solid 2-hopper through the infield.
Cain runs, and Hosmer hits it up the left field line and off the railing of the side wall. You were sitting next to me when I interviewed Ned Yost, and Royals stolen bases are down, and the league has a lot to do with that. A lot more slide steps. The Royals really haven't needed the stolen bases as much as last year because they're swinging the bats, and yet I wondered if part of their identity is missing because they're not running like they normally do.
I don't want to answer for Ned, but Ned pretty much said our runners are in scoring position when they're at first base, because we have so many good hitters that are able to hit that gap.
0-2 to Hosmer.
And there's a lot of truth to that. Last year they had to rely on their steals to get in scoring position, and then a lousy single. Looks like Carrasco, he's going more now with his 2-seam fastball. That's the pitch that moves away. The pitcher puts his 2 fingers on top of the seams and gets more movement. 4 seamers across the seams, stays straight.
And a 3-pitch strikeout of Hosmer. So Carrasco had 2 3-pitch strikeouts in the inning. Royals are scoreless. We've played 1. Remember, the 2015 MLB All-Star voting is all online this year. There are many Royals currently leading at their position, including Mike Moustakas, Lorenzo Cain, Alcides Escobar, Salvador Perez, and the Royals have Eric Hosmer, Kendrys Morales, and Omar Infante all in second place. So let's continue to stack the All-Star game with Royals. Go to Royals.com/vote right now.
Keep it up, folks. It's really good news when that comes on. All our players in royal blue.
Nick Swisher, he had just returned from the disabled list when the Indians were here a little less than a month ago. He had surgery on both knees, which cut last season short, and then started this year on the disabled list.
Yeah, it's tough for Nick Swisher to get going when he did early in the season. His timing's a little bit off, so it might take him a little while. 20 strikeouts in 79 at bats, just 7 walks, so he's trying to swing his way back into timing.
Good late movement, but it just stayed inside. 2-2. Guthrie could really use a quick inning here, or a quicker inning. It was a 27 pitch first inning against just 4 batters. All 4 batters ended up with a 3-2 count. And that could have been ball 3 to Swisher. Instead, it is out number 1 into the glove of Mike Moustakas. So look at where the Royals stand right now as far as their starters go. All the players in gold would be a starter if the voting ended today. Salvador Perez has the most votes overall, and Eric Hosmer is not far behind Miguel Cabrera.
That's right. Let's get him in, folks. Come on. We can do it. Well, you know Cabrera's going to be there, but we want Hos to start. Got to have Cabrera's bat. Unlike the other major sports in America, the All-Star game in Major League Baseball means something.
And part of it is a popularity contest. And I didn't have the answer to this. I wasn't trying to make a prediction, but I know I'd mentioned to you a couple of times on the air that I really wondered if it was true that the country fell in love with the Royals during the postseason last year, how that would affect the voting this year. And this isn't just Royals fans so-called stuffing the ballot box. I mean, these are fans around the country who want to see the Royals in the All-Star game. Hosmer, nice play in the hole, and underhands to Guthrie for the second out. And as a reminder, as you enjoy tonight's game and a cold one, look forward to Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
You know, you watched Hosmer make that look easy, but you know, these guys, they practice every day during batting practice, and they get fungos that are hit to them, and they work on this. Hosmer, he didn't just go in to the clubhouse after he was done hitting. He went out to the field and took ground balls from the back of first, and then on the grass. He took some throws at first. He threw to second. These guys, they work on it every single day. Even Kendrys Morales is out there taking ground balls at third, short, first. I mean, he's no wonder he played such a good first base in Chicago. He's ready.
1-1 on Yan Gomes.
You know, I mentioned the word fungo. Fungo is a longer, thinner bat that's easier to control. It's lighter, and it's easier for coaches to be able to hit that ball crisper. Better fly balls. Longer, skinnier. It's not a typical bat. For those of you that aren't familiar with the term and the word fungo.
Well hit by Gomes, but Cain is there. So a much better inning for Jeremy Guthrie. Much quicker inning. The Indians are 3 up, 3 down. Big crowd here tonight. Good to see all the young Royals fans here as we look at the University of Kansas Hospital injury report, and two of the big name pitchers in the game on the shelf are on their way back. Justin Verlander with AAA Toledo pitched 2 2/3 innings. Jose Fernandez at Jupiter, that's the Marlins spring training facility, that was extended spring training, on their way back. Morales hits it hard to left field, and Brantley has it go off the screen, and Morales cruises into second base with a double. It is his 16th, which is the second highest total in the American League.
Didn't quite get enough elevation on it, or that would have been a solo shot. It was elevated, the ball, but Morales, he squared it up cleanly, enough to get it over Brantley's head, who's an excellent left fielder. Brantley got a good break on it, but the ball was just charged. I mean, electrically charged. There's only one left fielder that could have made that catch. And that's nothing against Brantley.
Ball 1 to Alex.
Alex has been picking up in the runs driven in department, at least with runners in scoring position. He's over 300 now.
Almost nailed him on the elbow. 2-0.
This is a mild "Let's go Royals" chant here at the K, but this is how loud it was at Wrigley Field. Bringing back some memories, man. They rocked Wrigleyville, the Royals fans. Very proud of that. Players were thrilled.
Didn't mean to. 2-1.
Alex just 2 for 21 in his career against Carrasco with a homer.
3 balls, 1 strike. It was a pretty uneventful game Sunday because of the weather, but Alex picked up his 500th career RBI and then had another good defensive play, saving the game at least momentarily, gunning down Dexter Fowler using some of his old third base footwork. Carrasco walks Alex. 2 on, nobody out.
This was amazing. I mean, it brought me off of my feet. I was stunned by this play. Gordon couldn't get the grip, and Salvi at the last minute, the throw looked like it was off. Now Fowler's hand stuck, that helped, but the application of the tag was in time, as you could see his hand stuck and he couldn't get it across the plate. Not a good slide. They replayed it. Everybody was sitting on their hands, pins and needles. It was all determined on the umpire's call, and they ruled it correct. And next hitter won the game for him.
2 on, nobody out to Alex Rios, who takes inside. Rios returned to the Royals on Sunday. He was going to play on Saturday, but that game was rained out in Chicago. So his first game back, played in low 50s with that cold, strong wind coming off of Lake Michigan. It's only the 4th game for Alex Rios at home. Remember, the Royals opened at home against the White Sox, and they hit the road. They went to Anaheim in Minnesota, and it was in Minnesota when Rios had his left hand broken. And that's inside, 2-1.
So Carrasco looking like he's trying to come in there just to see if Rios is a little bit sensitive inside, but he's good and ready to go. His hand's healed up, and if he makes a mistake in there, Rios could turn him around.
Took something off of it. 2-2.
Had him out in front. You can see that 3/4 delivery. See, look at the spin on that baby. Not over the middle of the plate, but just took enough off to get him out in front.
Back with the same pitch, and Carrasco gets his 3rd strikeout, 1 down in the 2nd inning.
Sometimes when you have success on a certain pitch, the previous pitch, you'll stay with it, and that's exactly what happened. He stayed right with it. Stayed on the side of the ball, put a little spin on it. Got him out of there. Salvi, pretty good hitter with runners in scoring position in the 8th hole. Hitting .377 with runners out there at second base and beyond.
Taking a shot at right field and fouls it away, and Salvi is due to break out. He was just 1 for 17 on the road trip. He hit one of the 3 home runs at Wrigley on Friday. Little bit inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hunter Wendelstedt is the home plate umpire.
Hunter's in his 17th season. Hard to believe already. Time has flown by. His dad Harry was a longtime umpire. And a good one.
Popped up, and it was that slider away that got Rios, and Perez getting a pop up to Santana in foul ground. So 2 on, nobody out is now 2 on and 2 out. So the Royals are 0 for 2 in this inning with runners in scoring position, and they were like gangbusters in the beginning of May, hitting with runners in scoring position. But now, over their last 9 games, just .225 with runners at second and or third.
Carrasco looking like he's going to that slider when he needs it. Infante loves the fastball. See if he can get a hold of one.
Over the inside at 96. Infante was just 2 for 19 on the road trip. Fastball at 94, down and away, 0-2. It's not just Carrasco, but the Indians. The Indians, as a pitching staff, really pile up the strikeouts. Their starters in particular, but the Indians as a pitching staff lead the American League in strikeouts, and they're on pace to set a new major league record, which they set. Gomes got tangled up with home plate umpire Hunter Wendelstedt, but still makes a throw down to first, and Santana, the former catcher, digs it out. So the Royals had runners at first and second and nobody out. Carrasco gets a strikeout, a foul out, and another strikeout to get out of it. And local music showcase presented by Inc. Magazine. Great food and drink specials for students in the outfield experience. And then live local music from local Kansas City bands tomorrow. Not a Planet will be playing in the outfield experience. $8 tickets here at the box office for students with a valid ID or Royals.com/student night. Not a Planet.
I'm wondering if they might not have a moon for their background, maybe.
Well, Dave Holtzman has done exhaustive research,
right,
and Not a Planet was a group before 2014. So
glad to hear it.
It is not a result of our staff astronomist. It was named the best rock band of Kansas City in 2013.
Oh, folks, come on out. Got to hear them.
That ball's hit well by Michael Bourne into the wind, and Rios is back to make the play. And now with one down, Jose Ramirez, Indians' number 9 hitter and shortstop, as Guthrie is wrapping up his first time through the order, which at times can be troublesome.
Jeremy, though, he gets out of that first inning like most pitchers and, just kind of executes his pitches. He hasn't exactly shut the bats down, but he's more comfortable executing his secondary pitches. Fastball looks good tonight. He's got a whole week in between starts, and we've seen some 94s with that pitch. 92 to 94 is plenty to get big league hitters out.
Salvador Perez will take care of this one. So first time through the order, the Indians only get one base runner against Guthrie, and that was a walk. So Jason Kipnis to the plate with 2 down. So we look at our T-Mobile game changer. And he was exactly that in the month of May, hitting .429. His on-base percentage was .511. On base plus slugging, 1217.
That is firecracker hot. No doubt. Man.
And if not for one left fielder in the major leagues, he's 1 for 1 tonight with a double, maybe a triple.
That's right.
One thing I've noticed about Kipnis, remember he had that unique stance where he would hold the bat and would point the barrel of the bat flat as if he was pointing it toward the screen. He's not doing that now in his pre-pitch setup.
He does it early. Watch him. He'll do it real early and then he'll stop. And then he'll get set. There it is right there. Okay, it's a very short abbreviated point, but it used to be he'd hold it
as
there.
The pitch was coming in.
Yeah, like you'd see it. I mean, you didn't see another hitter do that. And he said he'd like to do that so he could make sure he felt the balance of the bat. And, he could. It was a feeling thing, a feel thing for him, as hitters will tell you. It's all about a routine and their feel, comfort level.
Escobar backhands. Kipnis runs well. Escobar gets him. Guthrie has knocked down the last 7 Indians to the bottom of the 3rd with no score. Life. Pat founded 2 charities that benefit their community. The Abnormal Society raises money to help those in need and has helped give $1 million to over 2,000 families. Pat also founded the Blue Valley Recreation Commission that gives members of all ages the opportunity to experience world-class recreational opportunities. Sitting in the Buck O'Neil Legacy seat in tonight's game.
Thanks, Pat. It's what you do for others that'll last, my man. Thank you.
Alcides Escobar struck out on 3 pitches in the first inning. Carrasco has 4 strikeouts in his first 2 innings.
I think the word got back to Carrasco that Escobar likes that first pitch. So he put a little wrinkle on that first one there.
Back to Carrasco. 1 away. This year's Girls Night Out event will take place on Friday in the Outfield Experience prior to the game with the Rangers at 7:10. Pre-game activities include a fashion show, massages, chocolate fountains, and the first 10,000 ladies through the gate will receive this Summer Infinity Scarf, courtesy of your KC area Chevy dealers, and the proceeds from the event benefit the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women. Now that makes sense that that's girls' night out, because clearly men don't like massages, nor do they like chocolate fountains. Although I don't know if you're going to catch me wearing a Summer Infinity Scarf. Mike Moustakas is 1 for 2 with a 1-out single.
Now what's wrong with a good massage?
That's what I'm
once in a
saying.
while?
I mean, now you want to bring up the mini makeovers they were talking about in the fashion show. Okay, but tonight we're telling the ladies that they want to be there because there are massages and chocolate fountains.
Sweet.
I'd take a massage and a chocolate fountain.
In a heartbeat, I would. Now the scarf, I'm not so sure about, but you know, I know that there's a few women out there that love to sport that. What was the name of that scarf again? Infinity?
A Summer Infinity Scarf.
Thank you.
And I don't know enough to know if it's a Summer Infinity Scarf or if it's an Infinity Scarf for the summer.
Do you wear them in the winter, or can you?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Does your wife wear those? I mean, Jennifer has a few scarves like that. All right. We'll move on.
Gomes didn't see it. Moustakas did right away, and he moves up 90 feet.
Talking with Johnny Gomes before the game, I asked him if is there anything that's bothering you about Yan Gomes, about your knee, your right knee that he had problems with. I said, has it been your hitting? Has it been the timing of your hitting? Is it your catching? What has been the most difficult? He said throwing. That right there. The throwing has been difficult for him to plant on his right knee and to get the timing down. So he's an excellent catch and throw guy, but he's still kind of getting into the rhythm of his defense, and you got to have your feet underneath you to execute good throws.
Moustakas will go to third as Kane is thrown out. I can't think of a worse injury for a catcher than a knee. Maybe an ankle, with all the pressure on the knee or the ankle going in and out of a crouch, one pitch after another.
He said, you know, getting that knee in throwing position and in shape is coming. It's going to take some time.
Now Hosmer with Moustakas at third, 2 down. Hit well to center field, and for Eric Hosmer, that's 12 RBIs against the Indians this year. 1-0 Royals in the third inning.
Hosmer, he's ready early in the count, trying to get that piece of cheese by him. You can't do it. Haas is hungry. Look at that. That's a nice stroke. Good balance, picking up that front foot and setting it down. Just taking his hands right to the baseball. 1-0. Fourth hit off Carrasco. It's what you want to do, especially when you know the heat is coming. Be ready for it. Don't miss it. Same thing Morales did his first time up. First pitch he saw, he blasted it over Brantley's head off of the left field wall. '16th double. He finds that gap again, it'll score Haas. Carrasco a little nervous about Eric. He knows he has the ability to steal.
Our AT&T U-verse rewind when the Indians were here in early May. Kendrys Morales took Carlos Carrasco deep. The Royals took 2 out of 3 in that series, and they took 2 out of 3 from the Indians in Cleveland in April. So the home run to right, and Carrasco this time around pitching him away, and Kendrys hits it off the chain link fence in left field.
He is continuing to stay away from Morales, but you know, they do make mistakes. Hosmer has 3 stolen bases. He's been caught twice. Might just want to stay home and let Morales try to see if he can get a hold of one with 2 outs. If Haas gets thrown out, then you got Morales hitting with nobody on base next inning.
That'll be out of play. Carrasco facing first and second and nobody out last inning. Got out of it. He struck out Rios. He got Perez on a foul out and then struck out Infante. And now the Royals doing it the more difficult way in this inning, driving in a run with 2 outs. Good slider in on him. That is 5 strikeouts for Carrasco, but at the end of 3, he and the Indians are down 1-0 thanks to Hosmer's RBI single. It's K-State Day this Sunday as the Royals host the Rangers at 1:10, and the first 3,500 Wildcat fans who bring their special K-State Day ticket to the designated table will receive this limited edition purple and gray KC Royals K-State cap courtesy of Fox Sports Kansas City and Rally House. Royals.com/special events for those tickets. Carlos Santana takes a breaking ball low. He flied out to right field in the first inning. It was a series here in July last year when Santana hit 5 home runs. That's the most for any visiting player in this ballpark, and ended up hitting 7 home runs against the Royals last year.
Everything he hit went out of the yard. Looked like he was playing in a backyard wiffle ball game. It's not that easy.
But sometimes it feels that way, doesn't it?
When you get in a groove, it does.
Hosmer will take it himself. One down. That's 8 in a row retired by Jeremy Guthrie.
Hey, look at that. Beautiful rainbow. We got not a full one, but a partial. Oh, no, I'm seeing it up as I'm bowing my neck around the stadium there. It's a beauty. Hadn't felt any rain yet, though. Must be in the area.
The only base runner for the Indians is Michael Brantley. That was a 2-out walk in the first inning. Rios has been busy. 2 down. So now 9 straight set down by Guthrie. Long first inning, 27 pitches. He only faced 4 batters, but all 4 went to 3 and 2, and then 13 in the second, 13 in the third, and now 2 outs, which is 6 pitches in this inning. That pitch just missed to Brandon Moss. He flied out to Rios in the first.
Dave Island's happy to be back. Back from his graduation from his daughter in Florida. And got to be pleased with Jeremy Guthrie so far in his pitch count.
He graduated from his daughter?
Well, I mean, he was at graduation for his daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, he's...
Because that'd be kind of sad, wouldn't it?
It would be, but he's enjoyed the break. Was not happy that he missed Wrigley, though, on Sunday anyway.
I won't say who, but a member of our crew said, when you have to stop paying tuition, it's a happy day. So I guess that would be, in some ways, also a graduation from your daughter.
There you go.
That looked like a swing up here. Nope. Clint Fagan is the third base umpire. 2-2 on Moss. Ooh.
It's all about interpretation. Umpire.
Speaking of Dave Island, you see him in the background. He was very emphatic in what he thought Moss had done. That'll pull foul. Watch Dave Island.
You know what? I commend him for not raising his arms.
Yep. He is ready to graduate from Clint Fagan as well.
That's right. But you know, it's hard. You put your arms in the air, the umpires see that. And not that you don't really care, but I mean, it looked to me like he went on the pitch.
Oh man, that sounded like right off the ankle, didn't it?
Sure did. Might have hit that pad, but then the way he reacted, might have missed it.
That hurt all the way up here.
I mean, he hit that squarely off of that shin guard. If he doesn't have that shin guard on, he's out of the game. And you know what he's telling me before the game? He goes, I asked him about playing right field here at the K. He said he loves the ballpark. But he said the run from the dugout to right field wears him out because it's pretty long ways out there. But he loves the K. Obviously, his experience in the wild card wasn't exactly what he wanted when he was with the Oakland A's, but he likes the K.
That'll land in the seat. Still 3-2.
A lot of the players are starting to get some reactions about playing ball here. I remember Ghost, the center fielder for the Tigers, telling me that, man, this is like playing in New York or Boston, the way the crowds get into it. I love it.
Well, the renovation really changed the feel of the ballpark even before the big crowds, because this was a very comfortable place to be if you're an outfielder, because these seats did not exist. There was no heckling behind you. There was just beautiful green grass, the fountains, and the water spectacular. So it's a little more uncomfortable out there, at least verbally, if you're a visiting player. Brandon Moss hits it into his own bullpen, and we are tied at 1. That's the first hit for the Indians. It comes with 2 down in the 4th inning. And that's the 9th left-handed home run against Jeremy Guthrie this year.
That's one of the reasons why Dave Island wanted that check swing called. This guy, he's a very dangerous hitter. And, you know, 3-2, Guthrie finally gave him a cookie and he didn't miss it. He'd been fouling off plenty of them. And he's got tremendous power, wind or no wind.
Nick Swisher is out in front. 9th home run for Moss. That leads the Indians. Doesn't have much of a batting average, but he is the team leader with those 9 home runs. Swisher fouled out to Moustakas in the 2nd inning. Kane, long run, and made it look easy. So the Indians have 1 hit in their 4 innings, but that 1 hit ties the game. Is brought to you by Panera Bread. Avoid the lines. Order online with rapid pickup at delivery.panerabread.com. By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Thoroughbred Ford. For great deals on new Ford cars and trucks, visit thoroughbredford.com. Nice crowd for a Tuesday night. Quiet at the moment after Brandon Moss's game-tying home run, but the Royals still have 6 at-bats to go, and really so far they have done fine against Carrasco. Now Carrasco does have 5 strikeouts, but he's a strikeout pitcher. But the Royals have 4 hits, an extra base hit, and a walk against Carrasco in the first 3 innings. Eric Hosmer with 2 outs drove in Mike Moustakas in the bottom of the 3rd, and then Cleveland tied it in the top of the 4th. Alex walked his first time, setting up a good scoring opportunity for the Royals. They had runners at first and second and nobody out. Then Carrasco got the next 3, a couple of strikeouts. Two and two. And that's over the outside. Alex does not argue with Hunter Wendelstedt. 6 strikeouts for Carrasco in 3 1/3. So there you go. The Cleveland Indians leading the American League and leading the major leagues in strikeouts. They are on pace to shatter the major league record they set last season, which was 1,450, 1,450 strikeouts. And if they stayed on this pace, they would have over 1,500 strikeouts, about 1,570.
Got power arms. 4 starters out of their 5 are in the top 10 in strikeouts. And you know, tomorrow night, Corey Kluber, he's the best in the American League as far as strikeouts. He's really got his game together since the last time the Royals faced him. So it's not going to get any easier.
Royals will be facing 3 of those 4 guys you're talking about, Hud. Carrasco tonight. There's Kluber tomorrow, and then Trevor Bauer, whose ERA is under 3. He'll pitch on Thursday. That's the pitch that Rios struck out on in the 2nd inning.
You know, it takes a lot of pitches to strike guys out. You know, you almost prefer your guys to pitch to contact, but these guys got power arms.
So all those strikeouts, and yet the Indians are 11th in the league in ERA. Their starters are 13th in the league in ERA. And even with a very good month of May, the Cleveland Indians are still below 500. Rios doing a better job of laying off that pitch. This time around, it's 2 and 2. Gomes wants Carrasco to shake off a couple of pitches to try and get in Rios's head. 3 and 2. Why do catchers do that? Does it mess up a hitter's frame of mind when he sees a pitcher shake off a couple of signs?
Absolutely it does, especially when you're keen, you're focused on everything about that pitcher and his release point, his head, all that. Nice plate appearance.
So 1 on 1 out as Carrasco walks his 2nd. Fans tonight enjoying the 2nd T-shirt Tuesday of the season, but the excitement doesn't stop here. Make sure you're here on July 7th for our 3rd T-shirt Tuesday. The first 10,000 fans receive a shirt featuring The Royals' fierce bullpen trio of Herrera, Davis, and Holland. Gates open at 5:30. That's the Royals and the Tampa Bay Rays. Base hit left field for Salvador Perez. So that's 5 hits and 7 runners for the Royals against Carrasco in just 3 1/3 innings.
Oh, they're missing a big hit. It should be coming hopefully from Infante, but first pitch fastball, he's ready for it. Salvi jumped all over it. He's able to get that bat head right there. He gets up underneath that. That could be a 2-run homer. So that T-shirt you just advertised there, that's a keepsake. That's a beauty.
HDH, as they were known during the postseason last year. Although you could put just about any one of those guys sitting in the bullpen on the mound with the game on the line. So 2 on 1 out to Infante. It was a chance to redeem himself. He made the final out in the 2nd inning with 2 on. Carrasco struck him out, and he jumps on a first pitch fastball and sends it back to the screen.
Yeah, that's the one you want to be ready for. He just missed it.
Infante didn't realize how far the ball had gotten away from Gomes when he struck out on a pitch in the dirt in the 2nd inning, and it was, by the time he did, running up the line, it was too late. Otherwise it might have been a closer play at first base.
Yeah, you know, sometimes when you swing at a pitch and that happens, you're not really sure. You know, okay, he missed it by a mile. He knew that. Then he saw it, and then I don't know what he was thinking there. He kind of let off the throttle a little bit. Had he gone full speed, he might have gotten it. But he hesitated. He saw the ball got away, and he missed it by a long shot. But look, you just never know. It could have kept the inning alive. Would have loaded him up.
Crack bat and just foul.
That ball got deep in his kitchen. And you know, that's what hitters say. That ball's way up and in, almost off of his thumbs. That's what hitters say when a pitcher gets inside and breaks your bat. They call that he got in your kitchen. That's just a saying that's been around a long time. Some guys will keep it short and they say, got a chef's hat.
And the rest is implied.
That's right.
Carrasco strikes him out for a 2nd time. That's 7 strikeouts for Carrasco.
Same pitch he struck out on last time, way out of the zone. You know, it's really difficult when you're facing a guy that throws this hard. You have to gear up for the fastball, and then you know you're geared for that pitch, and then he takes a little bit of something off. It's what makes it so hard to hit a guy like Carrasco. You get committed to it, and then he wrinkles you, and it's a different story.
Ooh. Escobar got a pitch up, but it was in, and Brantley brings it down in left field. So the Royals have had some chances, but they have stranded 6 in their 4 innings against Carrasco.
man with the shaved head. That is the case for pretty much all of the Indians players and much of their staff. They did that recently in honor and to support their teammate Mike Aviles, the former Royal. Mike and his family going through a very tough time. We told you about a few weeks ago. His daughter recently diagnosed with leukemia. One of his twin 4-year-old daughters, Adriana, she has gone through surgery. She's having chemo back in Cleveland every single Friday, and had a chance to catch up with Mike today. Usually one of the most upbeat guys that we have all ever known, and one of our favorites in the league. And he's down a bit, and it's been a long road trip and really wants to get home to the family. He said that some days are better than others. That's true for him. That's true for his daughter, although he said as far as Adriana goes, he said she's probably the one that's handling it better than anyone else. He got video from his wife today, texted to him, of Adriana walking around the house. She has a hard time, guys, walking around. It's painful, and there's some days she doesn't want to do it, but she was able to walk around on her own today, and that hopefully perked Mike up a little bit. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers are with Mike and his family, the former Royals Player of the Year from 2008.
Thank you for that, Joel. That usually is the case, isn't it? The kids handling it the best. Apparently Adriana had been in quite a bit of pain trying to walk. She's had difficulty walking, and kudos to Mike's wife Jessie, who finally said, hey, look, we got to take her in. I mean, there's something wrong here. And of course Cleveland, of many things, known for the Cleveland Clinic. That's the first strikeout for Jeremy Guthrie as he gets Chisenhall. So it was diagnosed very early. So the prognosis is good, and yet anybody who has either been through chemotherapy or knows somebody who has been through chemotherapy, it is a rough road to being cured.
Yeah, and your teammates, they're your family away from home, and his teammates, he didn't say anything about shaving their heads. They all did. They just got in and they said, hey, look, let's just let them know we're thinking about them. And sometimes just a physical gesture like that to shave your head made him feel good, like his family's with him.
Guthrie labored a bit in the first inning. Since then, he has been pretty much on target. The Indians have had very few good swings against him. Yan Gomes had one of those swings, and he lined to center in the second inning. Trying to climb the ladder, but that was too high. 1-2 to Gomes.
Guthrie, he's looking good. He's back. It's nice to see that. He's gotten over that horrible start he had in New York. That's way gone now. He's back hitting his target, working ahead of the hitters, working in secondary pitches in. Ooh,
just missed.
A lot on his fastball tonight.
Three and 2 on Gomes, who's had some difficulty with Guthrie in the past. 2 for 14, but you don't know how many of those outs were well hit, like his line out to center in the second inning tonight. Let's see what they do on 3 and 2. Fastball at 92.
It's good to see Guthrie using that fastball more, because it's a very good pitch. Sometimes when you give up a few home runs on that pitch, you kind of stay away from it. But really, if he locates it and mixes them with his 2 and 4 seam fastball, it's 2 different looks, and if he keeps the ball down around the knees, he'll get some outs.
This is true, I think, for every pitcher, but it really seems that way for Guthrie, that when he is on, when he is having a good outing, that he's not only putting his fastball where he wants to, but he's throwing it a lot, right? Doesn't he seem like more of a fastball pitcher when he's on? And when he's not on, he's perhaps mixing his pitches too much. Rio springs it down in right field. 2 away in the 5th inning. Remember to follow live Royals baseball with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. You can stay connected to the Royals all season wherever you are with the MLB.TV Game of the Day, in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, and more. It's the #1 app for live baseball. Good change-up.
You know, seeing that shot of that dad with his boy on his shoulders, and I miss that. My boys they're old now. It just seemed like that was just yesterday. I was able to carry him around. You know, Rhino, I know you got 3 young boys at home and a beautiful young daughter, man. Take advantage of that now, because they're, you know, you hear that. I mean, I kept hearing, oh, you know, they'll be big boys soon, but they're right. It goes fast. Way to go, Dad.
I would love to take advantage of that, but I think it would be really hard to call the game with one of my sons on my shoulder. I don't know. Maybe
Bring them up here. I'll take the other one.
DraftKings.com. Just enter the promo code BRoyal. Players to watch tonight includes Alcides Escobar, Chris Archer of the Rays, Josh Donaldson, who's having a big year for Toronto in his first year with them, Mike Zunino against CC Sabathia. Doesn't seem that long ago that you would never consider a player to watch if they were facing CC Sabathia.
No, you're right. CC, he's not throwing that 98-mile-an-hour fastball anymore. I like Chris Archer. Chris Archer, man, he's got a really good future ahead of him.
Tampa Bay, man, they just crank one pitching staff out after another, don't they?
Amazing where they find that pitching. That's what keeps them floating.
Tampa Bay is leading the American League in ERA. Some of the guys they've lost. I mean, Alex Cobb done for the year. James Shields is gone. David Price is gone. Matt Moore is on the disabled list. And there they are, first in the league in ERA.
Yep, and a game out tonight against the Yankees for first place.
Royals have had 7 runners against Carrasco in the first 4 innings, and Carrasco has struck out 7. So the big item right now, well, 2. Carrasco's 7 strikeouts, and the Royals have left 6 on base so far. Two and 2 on Moustakas. He scored the Royals run in the 3rd inning. Hosmer drove him in with 2 outs. Changeup away. 8 strikeouts for Carrasco in 4 1/3. And since the beginning of last year, Hud, that was actually a split, not a changeup. Since the beginning of last year, he's averaging more than 10 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Yep, he's on that base tonight. Then some. I thought he'd have a difficult time against the Royals offense. They are the hardest in the league to strike out. They got the fewest coming into tonight, 278. Fewest in Major League Baseball.
Kane has attempted a bunt tonight against Carrasco and bunted it foul. Now shows bunt. This time Chisenhall, the 3rd baseman, was already in.
Sometimes that's good too. Pull that guy in, hit it right by him. Now Chisenhall's backing up.
Sometimes it really feels that way, doesn't it?
Sure does.
One and 2 on Kane.
I like it.
The Lorenzo Canes.
They're very creative here in Kansas City. It's great.
Two and 2.
Last pitcher that the Royals faced that had a slider at 88 and 90, 91 was Arrieta on Friday night in Chicago. These two guys are very similar. Arrieta had a good changeup too to go with that, but a good 96, 97 mile an hour fastball. And Carrasco, he's doing the same thing. He's getting ahead with fastballs and finishing guys off with that really tough slider.
One hop to Chisenhall. He throws on the run off the bag, and Santana tags him out. 2 away.
Ball bounces one more time. Lorenzo Kane might have had a shot, but Chisenhall, he's a good 3rd baseman. He's much improved from last year, and he's able to get him by a full step.
Ball 1 to Eric Hosmer, who was named the Royals May Player of the Month. And don't you forget to vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com, and you'll be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. Eric Hosmer's RBI single in the 3rd inning. He already has 12 RBIs against Cleveland this year. The Royals record against the Indians in 1 year is 13 by Billy Butler. And with 12 remaining games against Cleveland, Hosmer already has 12.
He might shatter that mark.
4 home runs, 16 driven in, making him the Royals Player of the Month for May. Chris Young was the Royals Pitcher of the Month. 3-1. .48 career RBIs for Hosmer against the Indians, and that's the most for him against one team.
He wants that fastball again.
Little wrinkle. 3-2. Boy, that's
that slider.
Yikes.
That's nasty. Ooh, maybe it's split finger.
Splitter.
Wow, man, look at that. That's great control.
Can give Hosmer some credit for laying off that pitch. Still 3-2. Carrasco's in pretty good shape as far as pitch count goes when you consider all the strikeouts. Strikeouts are impressive. Piling up strikeouts is impressive, but oftentimes it will take a big chunk out of a pitcher's pitch count. But Carrasco is in pretty good shape, even though he has 8. Up the middle, Kipnis dives, gets to his feet very quickly, and throws out Hosmer. So Carrasco gets a big defensive play behind him, and we're still tied at 1 at the end of 5. Cuts of the game.
Jeremy Guthrie is right back where he wants to be with the help of his defense. Throwing strikes, getting ahead of guys. That was the first batter of the game. That defense is always steady behind him. Guthrie working in that fastball. Looks strong tonight. Hoping he can squeak by. He's only given up 1 hit. That's it. 1 hit. And it was a solo shot.
Big difference would be strikeouts. Carrasco has 8. But he's given up 5 runs and he's walked 2, or 5 hits rather, and he's walked 2. Jose Ramirez then 3rd time through the order for the Indians against Guthrie. Ramirez fouled out to Salvador Perez in the 3rd. Jason Kipnis waits on deck. After him, Carlos Santana.
Orioles manager Ned Yost, he sounded very confident when he talked about Guthrie today. He said, you know, Jeremy had a bad game. He had a bad outing, and he's going to come back and pitch strong tonight. He expects it. And Guthrie, he usually has a good reputation of coming back strong after outings like he had in New York. Well prepared, physically strong. It's evident with his 94-mile-an-hour fastball tonight we've seen.
2-2. Guthrie has hit 94 pitches. Another foul ball.
Seeing a lot of 1 and 2s and 2 and 2s means Guthrie's getting ahead and he's able to pitch on his terms. Salvador Perez calling a nice game for him.
Alex comes in left field, so Guthrie finally disposes of Ramirez. One down. Let's go to Joel.
All right, Ryan, how about a Mazda game break? And we will take a look at Oakland and Detroit. Getting to that Tigers bullpen. Nesbitt, Zobrist, a line drive grand slam, and the A's lead in that one 5-3. Keep you updated on that as it is late in that contest. And want to welcome a very large contingent from Morningside College up in Iowa. They were here, many of them, to play in the Split golf tournament yesterday. Of course, Paul Splittorff played baseball and basketball at Morningside before being drafted by the Royals in the late 60s, before they even had that team. And so had a great time at the Split golf tournament yesterday. Had the baseball coach, the AD here, and many others. And Ryan, I didn't even get a chance to hear them, but a lot of those guys saying they've got some stories on Split that we've never even heard.
Oh, man. Bring them on.
Glad to see that turnout.
Kipnis, left center, and there's Alex again. 2 away. All right, let's break down some of the swings. Here's Matt McClain of our Fox Sports Kansas City crew. Nice, Matty.
Look at that. Wow.
Gavin Bodell, our coordinating producer for Fox Sports Midwest. Nice divot. Ooh, nice. That's Brian Shapiro, our Royals live producer, shooting those. I mean, I've always thought that's got to be the hardest job in all of sports live photography, is trying to find a golf ball in the air. A little white golf ball, yeah, especially on a cloudy day or a very bright day. Nice work, Tito.
That away.
Santana has flied to right and grounded out to first. We call Brian Shapiro Tito because in his first year with us, he made sure we all knew that as an Ohio native, he's a big Cleveland Indians fan. It also happened to be the first year of Terry Francona. His nickname is Tito. That was his father's nickname. So there is no Tito, as far as we know, in the Shapiro family. It's not an abbreviated name for something else. So there's the nickname.
Yeah, I love it.
There's a lot of people in our crew that probably don't even know that his first name is Brian.
I wouldn't mind having my nickname Tito either, because he was very good to me at the end of my career. He gave me a nice contract to join the Phillies his first year managing. I love him.
Tito Hudler.
Yeah, I'll take it. I got to negotiate with him. My agent, he let me do the negotiating. Terry Francona called me up. Oh,
Ball has a lot of overspin on it, and in doing so, it stays in. And it was hit up into a crosswind, so Santana hit just enough of the top of the baseball to end up with a double instead of a go-ahead home run.
Just his Guthrie's second hit he's given up, and that's a fastball that's elevated, and it's a good thing he did stay on top of it. Because this is out over the middle of the plate. This guy, he knows exactly what to do with those. And Ned Yost has seen enough. Good job by Jeremy. Especially against this stacked left-handed lineup. Francona sent out. Fans love it. Good job.
Franklin Morales is a Chevy call to the bullpen with Michael Brantley coming up. And Fox Sports Kansas City are offering a unique way for fans across the Midwest to enjoy a game here at Kauffman Stadium. It's the Forever Royal Fan Express. Fans in designated markets will have the opportunity to win a trip to the K. And the next stop is Manhattan on June 6th. Go to Royals.com/Fan Express for more information.
All aboard.
Franklin Morales. And he'll get Michael Brantley with a runner at second base and 2 down. Last pitched on Wednesday in the Yankees series.
Should be good and strong. He's just given up a 128 average to left-handed bats. Nope, that was his right-handed batting average against 128 left-handers. 265. It did a little bit better off him. 1 homer.
One and one on Brantley against Guthrie. He walked in the first and lined to right in the fourth, and just 2 out of 10 against Morales with 1 walk.
Fastball slider. He'll go 90 to 93, 94.
First time a Cleveland Indian has come to the plate tonight, and we're in the 6th inning with a runner in scoring position. They got a 2-out walk in the first, and then Guthrie retired 9 in a row. Moss hit the home run with 2 outs in the 4th. And now the Santana double in the 6th. So technically 3 base runners, but really only twice have they had a runner on base. 2-2.
Brantley's been good against lefties, hitting .324. Stays inside the ball, uses the whole field. Morales almost got him to bite on that high fastball, four-seamer.
Ooh, hello.
Ooh, it's a little chin music there. Alex Gordon has 3 outfield assists this year. Lorenzo has 3 in center. Rios throws the ball good from right, but hadn't had any assists yet.
Routine for Lorenzo Cain. Morales comes on and gets the job done. Royals coming up in the bottom of the 6th. In a 1-1 tie. Morales, Gordon, and Rios coming up. See a lot more kids here at Kauffman Stadium. That little guy is bouncing around, having a great time. Hoping the Royals rally in our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is James Carter from Independence, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, James wins $400. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, James wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. On one hand tonight, Carlos Carrasco has struck out 8. And you think, boy, he's really just mowed down the Royals tonight. Well, not really. They've had 7 runners against him. But Carrasco, one of those pitchers who really cranks it up a notch with runners on base, and especially with runners in scoring position. The Royals have left 6 on against him. And he's been ahead in the count for most of the night, 0-2 against Morales. He has faced 24 hitters, 19 of which have seen a first pitch strike.
That's what makes him so tough, getting ahead of hitters and then finishing them off with a slider. Playing him to dead pull on the infield. Morales, we've seen him shorten up his swing with 2 strikes on him and just try to lay that ball into left field. We'll see if he can do it here. On a pitch away. Typically when the defense is playing to pull, you're going to pitch to that.
Very high, deep, straighten out. It does, and it's caught. I thought he got more of that.
I did too. I thought that ball was going to be out down the line. Yes, a little bit too high. And we talked about a little bit how that wind could possibly keep the ball in off of a left-handed bat that pulls. They just got up underneath it, and that's exactly what happened. That wind kind of knocked it down.
Yeah, it's shifted. It's now blowing out of the east, straight in from right field. Fouled away by Alex, who has 2 non-contact plate appearances tonight. He walked in the second and struck out in the fourth. One of those flags blowing straight in from right field.
If he hit that ball earlier in the game, that might have been out.
One and one. Alex looked like he was taking all the way. 1 and 2.
Sometimes you're guessing when that happens. But he didn't look like he was wanting to swing at it. Let's see what he comes with here.
Back into a big crowd here tonight for a Tuesday night. Good crowds, and yet seats available tomorrow night and Thursday. If you want to come to the game this weekend, any one of the games against the Rangers this weekend, we encourage you to start getting your tickets now, because the Royals are trending to sell out those 3 games. So there are tickets, but there aren't many. So if you're thinking about Kauffman Stadium on the weekend, you might want to pick up that phone or get online right now. Up the middle, Chisenhall, former college shortstop, throws out Gordon from the shortstop position. 2 down. That is 5-3.
Well, the shifts we found out the last few years have really worked, taking some hits away from fielders, especially on the ground. Might have been a base hit if they were playing him regular.
See what Rios does this time around. In the second inning with 2 on and nobody out, Carrasco struck him out with 2 good sliders down and away. In the fourth inning, Carrasco tried the same approach, and Rios picked up those pitches sooner, which are out of the strike zone, and he walked. So he made a quick adjustment against Carrasco.
Yeah, that was too good a pitch there, and Rios, he pulled off of it. His head pulled just a tick on that. He stayed down through it. He might have hit that ball hard somewhere. Let's see where this is, right down the middle.
So as Morales' ball was knocked down, hitting it to right field, something in the air to left is going to get a little bit of help from that wind out of the east. Ooh, boy, I'd like to have that pitch back again.
Good rip. He's getting closer.
Still 1 and 2. Now Carrasco's at 95 pitches, but there is no activity in the Indians bullpen. Had him out in front just enough. Carrasco wants it. And it's caught by Santana. Had to come running over from first base. And that ends the inning. And now Carrasco has set down the last 8 Royals. Your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. First of 3 with the Indians and the first of 6 on this homestand. The Texas Rangers will be here over the weekend. 1-1 to the 7th inning. Kelvin Herrera. After Jeremy Guthrie went 5 2/3, Guthrie gave up 1 run on only 2 hits. Morales got the final out of the 6th, and now Herrera against the middle of the Indians order.
Great job, Jay Guts. Way to keep your team in the game. Only 2 measly hits. One of those happened to be a solo shot. That was it.
And that home run was hit by Brandon Moss into the Indians bullpen in right field. He's also flied out to right. So he has pulled both pitches, and now he goes the other way.
Fastball down the middle. Low. Moss just went with it.
Nick Swisher will take a fastball at 98. Against Guthrie, he fouled out to third and flied out to center field.
Above average fastball. 98 to 100. Changeup is excellent. 88 to 90. Occasional little slider he'll mix in. Hitters know what they're getting.
1-2. Herrera gets his first strikeout, one down. 100 miles an hour with that fastball to Swisher.
Whew, man, I tell you what, it started in the inside part of the plate and ran away. There's 100, folks. Good luck.
Now 1 on 1 out to Lonnie Chisenhall. Lonnie Chisenhall against Kelvin Herrera. Does that ring a bell? 99 miles an hour. May 5th here at Kauffman Stadium. Kelvin Herrera had gone 105 1/3 innings without allowing a home run. Going back to 2013. That is a Royals record for a reliever. And Chisenhall ended that on May the 5th. The Royals record, by the way, for any pitcher, Mark Gubaza went 134 1/3 innings without allowing a home run.
Really? He's a starting pitcher.
Man.
That's really excellent, Mark Gooby.
This time Herrera takes care of Chisenhall. So after the leadoff single, back-to-back strikeouts of 100 miles an hour and now 99 miles an hour.
Yep. Let's see if this one moved like the last one did. It sure did. Man, those balls are outside, but they look like they're starting out hittable. That's how short a reaction time a hitter has. Now they can be hit if they're out over the plate, but those pitches that are off the plate like that, they're unhittable. You're geared up for the fastball. You're looking to hit it. Ooh. Ouch.
Well, not that it didn't hurt, but it hit the portion of the mask, the wing of the mask.
Yeah, but just still, look at the impact. I mean, when it hit Salvi's face, his whole face just vibrated. That's vicious. Windelstad giving Salvi some time, home plate umpire. He's going to walk out there to the field. Give him a little time to shake that one off.
Oh, 2. Gomes is just 6 out of 41 this year, and you pointed out earlier he went on the disabled list very early this season with a right knee problem, and you can see through his pants the outline of a knee brace under his right pants leg. A great shot of it. Delayed call, but strike 3 at 101. Leadoff single for the Indians, and then Herrera has 3 consecutive strikeouts of pitches at 99, 100, and 101.
Woo-wee, that is some con queso at the knees, cheese at the knees.
Around the league, Panera showing us some scores. Boston with the win. Oakland does take Detroit. Texas blasting Chicago. St. Louis over Milwaukee. Our Mazda game break will bring us to that action in Boston. And here it is. One run, the difference. Rusney Castillo, the only RBI in the game. So the Royals right now, guys, are tied for first place. Just safe there. No, picked off. But the run does come in. And so the Royals tied with Minnesota for first. We do see a little bit of a new face in the dugout. Chris Medlin has been at extended spring training. He's back here for the week. He'll go back to Arizona next week. But guys, he told me he feels awesome. He threw 2 innings on Saturday. He's gone 1 inning, 2 and 2. He'll throw 3 in a simulated game here on Thursday as Salvador Perez is going to pop out to Jason Kipnis. But he said that he's got a ways to go, but he said, I'm honoring the system. I'm honoring the process. I'm well aware of how it goes. I've been through it before, but he said he is so pleased right now. He says, I'm starting to feel like myself, like the fire is burning, because I actually get to pitch to real human beings.
Got to love that. An extra arm and a guy who's got a nice track record. Sure is good to have. Simulated game on Thursday.
Carrasco has knocked down the last 9 Royals, going back to a single by Salvador Perez in the 4th inning. He has struck out Infante twice. Carrasco has struck out 8 tonight. Infante got a fastball up and in. Only 1 inning tonight where he's had to go as many as 20 pitches, so 101 pitches with 1 out in the 7th inning. And a lefty warming up in the Indians bullpen. Left field sinking, and Brantley makes a diving play. 2 down.
Didn't quite stay on top of the ball enough to sink it in there. Brantley, he had it measured. Carrasco, he's thrown as many as 114 pitches this season so far. That was May 17th at Texas against the Rangers. But they do have some action warming up in that bullpen. Quick 2 outs for him here, though. Maybe they can tax that pitch count a little bit longer, get him out of the game. He's been good.
Escobar had a great swing at a fastball up in the 4th inning and just missed it and flied out to left field. He's 0 for 3. So he appeared to be right on Carrasco. The pitch is in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wind is blowing from right to left. See if he can get one in the air to left field here. Instead, 1 hop to Chisenhall. Carrasco goes 7 innings. He has retired the last 11 Royals. Wade Davis for the top of the 8th and a 1-1 tie. Carlos Carrasco is done, so that's good news for the Royals. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals. They may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler, Joe Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery. Kauffman Stadium with producer Joe Libero, director Steve Kurtenbach, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman, and the producer of Royals Live is Ryan Shapiro. Tomorrow night, Jason Vargas against Corey Kluber. The Royals have done well against Kluber so far this year, but then he was white hot right after that. He had an 18 strikeout performance against St. Louis.
No doubt about it. It'll be another tester. But first things first. Tie game here. Wade Davis in to hold down. Keep him off the bases. Good hard fastball, 97 mile an hour. He'll top. He's got a good cut fastball around 93 and an overhand curve.
22 scoreless outings for Davis to begin the year. And Michael Bourne shows bunt. He was 0 for 2 against Guthrie. Jeremy Guthrie went 5 2/3. He gave up 1 run on only 2 hits. Morales got the last out of the 6th, and Kelvin Herrera, after a leadoff single, struck out the side in the 7th. 1-1 on Bourne. So a left-hand batter, a switch hitter who will bat left-handed, and another left-hand batter coming up. Remember all that talk in spring training after Tim Collins went down with Tommy John surgery? What would the Royals do in their bullpen? Would they have a lefty? Did they need a lefty? And they ended up settling on Franklin Morales. There's Collins sitting next to the cleanly shaven Danny Duffy. And Ned Yost said he would like to have a lefty in the bullpen, but as he pointed out, and accurately, that the Royals righties are as tough on lefties as anybody. Look at the opponent's batting averages this year for Herrera, Davis, Madsen, and Holland against left-hand hitters.
Yep.
The highest is 158.
Gotta love that. You know, in 2002, the World Championship Angels, Mike Scioscia did not have a lefty in his bullpen because of the same thing. He had righties that could get guys out. Pretty impressive when you can do that. That means you got to have a pitch that's going the other way, or you know, that equalizer, that big overhand curveball. Sometimes when it goes straight down, it gets righties and lefties out. So far, the numbers are matching up.
Defensive swing to stay alive at 3-2. Well, you better jump all over that cutter.
That might be the hardest one to hit just because the numbers are a little bit better. But it's tough. That cutter gets right on you in a heartbeat. It's 93 to 95.
And Bourne takes a leadoff walk. It's only the second time the Indians have had a leadoff man on. They've done it in each of the last 2 innings.
Moustakas coming in at third base, expecting Ramirez to bunt here. Now with a runner on, Bourne, pretty good job. Boy, he missed big time there. 3-2 with the off-speed pitch.
Bourne, as a National Leaguer, 3 times led the league in stolen bases, but the last 2 years he's had a lot of hamstring troubles. He does not have a big lead over at first. And Ramirez is going to try and bunt Wade Davis.
Might want to square around a little bit sooner. Give yourself a chance. If you're giving yourself up, everyone knows it. Might as well get ready for it because he was a little bit tardy on that one. But being a middle infielder, you got to be able to do those things when the manager asks you to do them.
And that is bunted foul. That's a tough pitcher to bunt.
She better believe that. Coming at that velocity, you don't have hardly any time to judge staying on top of that baseball. See, he squared around better that time. He was out in plenty of time, but the bat head's still back. He's got to be able to get it out in front so he can see it if he can. It's a very, very tough chance. Now with 0-2, he's most likely will be trying to hit a hole here. Swinging.
You know, far be it for me to tell Terry Francona what to do, but Bourne is not running great, and you're trying to run on Salvador Perez. It'd be almost impossible to bunt Davis. Why not try a hit and run?
Yeah, I thought that second pitch they might try it there. I'm with you.
I mean, what's your best chance of doing something against Wade Davis? I would say hitting a ground ball, right?
Yeah, just trying to put the bat on it, just trying to meet it.
Bourne looks like he's trying an old high school trick. His lead isn't very big, but he's deep, which at times can convince the pitcher that the lead is bigger than it is. You remember that old trick when you wouldn't be in the base line, but you take a couple of steps back?
Yeah, Bourne, 4 stolen bases this year. He's been caught 3 times, not running like he could.
A good step back, step and a half back of the baseline, not running. And Ramirez, good play by Davis to let the ball go, and the Royals don't quite turn the double play.
Escobar, he really aired it out. Ned Yost coming to the top of the steps, just asking for a little bit of time. So excellent replay man Bill Duplessis can give him the news whether to go and challenge or not. It looked like he might have got him.
And Don Wakamatsu says challenge. So Ned Yost says let's take a look at it.
I thought he got him. Escobar, he got out of the way of the hard slide by Bourne, but man, did he put something on it. I mean, he fired it across over there to Hosmer. I believe we'll have to see it a couple times. Wade Davis laid off of it. That was good. So he had quick transfer. Quick transfer from glove to hand. That's what made it. Out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's that transfer that sometimes really can make or break that game at first base. And here the crowd here as they watch it on the scoreboard. That's a big out if it's called.
Bob Davidson is the umpire at first, and he looked like he was ready to ring him up and then went safe. But he was ready to pump that right fist. And meanwhile, Nick Kenny, along with Ned Yost, going to go out and
looking at Salvi.
Last inning, Salvador took a foul ball off of his mask.
Ball hits the
ball.
Ball hits the back of the glove. He doesn't have to close his glove. It's when it hits the back of the glove, and you can see Ramirez's foot hadn't yet touched the base yet.
Well, I'm not the replay official in New York, but I have seen 3 shots for replays that are clear and convincing. So as of right now, it's a fielder's choice out at second base, and Ramirez safe at first, ruled by first base umpire Bob Davidson. So if the umpire back in New York feels like it's not clear and convincing, the runner will be safe. Now the headsets come off. Wow. Well, the call stands, so they have not confirmed the call. Boy, I don't know.
Okay, I'm not seeing his foot on the base, and to me,
there's no chance that ball's not making contact with his glove right there. I mean, his glove is starting to collapse on the ball. Right?
Yeah, that's what you think.
That's just getting a little too cute. How about picking him off? You know, I will say, here we are. We're about a third of the way into the season, and we have had a lot more. I don't know about the league, but we've had a lot more call stands this year than I remember last year. And I don't know if there's been an overemphasis this year on clear and convincing. I mean, it's gone both ways, not just against the Royals, but also against the opponents, where you and I felt like, hey, it looks like he's out. I mean, it looks like he's safe. Nope.
Yeah, how about the play at the plate with Dexter Fowler in Chicago on Sunday? You know, that was a real close play. You weren't sure, but home plate umpire Bruce Dreckman was right there on the call, and it was a close one. It's just, you never know which way they're going to go.
One and two. Ooh. 2-2 on Kipnis, who is 0 for 3 tonight.
Salvi sitting right up on that outside. He really made it look good. Kipnis had to take one little extra peek, make sure it was out.
Another chance. Bobbled, and just the out at second base. You know, we should point out that, and I'm sure many of our listeners know this, but it is important to bring up for clarification. There is a big difference between the call is confirmed and the call stands. Now, if they had said the call was confirmed, then that means somebody in New York confirmed that Bob Davidson was right. Call stands means, there wasn't enough evidence to prove that he was wrong. So it's a I guess sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it's a safe way to get out.
Right. It's a good explanation.
Santana with a runner at first, 2 down. 2 for 9 against Davis. 1 for 3 tonight with a double. The Indians still only have 3 hits, and there's 2 down in the 8th inning. Now this year we have an email that is produced from New York that is sent to the teams, and the teams then forward it on to the broadcast teams. So the email on the play was, after viewing all relevant angles, not to be confused with irrelevant angles, the replay official could not definitively determine that the ball touched the interior of the fielder's glove prior to the runner reaching first base. Whatever.
Game of inches, quarter inches.
Kipnis runs on 2-1. Royals let him run.
What a great takeoff. Man, he was quick.
They had this. I mean, you get every angle. That how can you not? Part of the ball is covered by the glove. You can't see the entire front of the gloves.
Count full here. Let's see if Wader can punch him out. Yep, want to make sure they get it right here. Talking about one pitch. Kipnis, pretty good lead over there at second base. Escobar, he's kind of keeping him close on the second base side. Outfielder is fairly shallow, protecting against any kind of single.
Ball 4 outside. Second walk of the inning for Davis.
Saw that jump that Kipnis got. Let's take a look at that. I mean, he was off before Davis even started home. Look at that. You can't get any better than that. No wonder they didn't throw. 6th stolen base on the year for Kipnis. Boy, you can't time it any better than that.
Cutter's in for a strike to Michael Brantley, who's not thrilled with the call.
I thought that ball was a little bit high, but that's a good meaty pitch to hit. Tried to anyway. It's belt high.
One and one.
Brantley just staying real calm and cool up there. He's not jumping too much. He knows exactly what to do. He just wants to put the bat on the ball, try to find a hole out there. He's had some success against Davis. Some of those numbers could have been when Davis was a starter.
And now Davis ahead 1-2. 2 walks, 2 fielder's choice plays. Davis got himself out of a mess in the game on Sunday in Chicago. Remember, Anthony Rizzo hit a 1-out triple. The winning run was at third base with 1 out. Davis got out of it in a rare show of emotion by him after the final out. Trying to keep this game tied to the bottom of the 8th. Off of Brantley's ankle, and he goes down to both knees.
They wear that shin guard for a reason. Got just on the pad, but still, padding doesn't hurt. I mean, didn't save much. It got on the heel. Good spot though, keeping it down there.
It's the only time all night the Indians have had more than 1 runner. Kipnis at second, Santana's at first. Still 1-2.
Thought he might try to climb the ladder, get a little bit higher up there just to see if he can get a swing and miss or a pop up. But Salvi, he's guiding him back there. Infielders playing straight up. Davis looking for a big pitch here to end the inning.
Shattered his bat, and we're stuck on 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's out of the hitting zone, and really an effective pitch to set up the next one possibly. Still ahead in the count, 1-2. He's got a couple pitches to work with. Salvi going to try to talk it over with him now. You know, they talk about Major League Baseball talks about speeding the game up. Sure does make a big difference when that bat boy's ready with another bat. He brings it right out to the hitter. That helps.
Pitch number 30 for Davis, and it's lined into center field. So Kipnis scores, and by getting an extra out, the Indians take advantage. It is 2-1, and that's the first run all year off of Wade Davis.
Curveball stayed up just enough. Brantley with an excellent swing on that. I mean, for a pitch like that in a situation, for him to be able to line that ball back up the middle. Now, I wouldn't call this a hanger, but it was right over the middle of the plate and down. So he didn't stride at all. He was just very quiet and calm with his body, just trusted his hands. Found the hole.
And now Moss. Great play by Hosmer.
Nobody there.
Nobody at first base. Well, he saved a run by keeping it on the infield. And the bases are loaded with 2 down.
Cleveland making Wade Davis work. 31 pitches in this inning. It's been a tester. Ball was hit so hard. I don't know if Infante, who was playing him in shallow right, nah, he wouldn't have got it. That would have scored another run. Excellent save. Now, when you're a pitcher trying to get over in that situation, if you don't get over on contact, it's too late. You don't break right away, and he didn't.
So they're loaded up for Nick Swisher. 0 for 3 so far. Fouls a breaking ball down by his feet. 32 pitches for Wade Davis, adding to his season high. And now 33, which matches his season high from last year. One and two. And now with such a long inning, Luke Kochaver begins to warm up in the Royals bullpen. Two and two. And now 3 and 2. A 36 pitch inning for Wade Davis.
Yep, command just off, especially on those pitches on the outer half. He's trying to get some swings on those, and it's just not working. Remember, this is the most patient, selective team in Major League Baseball.
Everybody runs, and Swisher fouls it away. Indians have walked 3 times tonight, giving them 199 to lead the league.
You'd think Swisher's in swing mode here. Already got that 1 run they wanted.
On the ground to Hosmer. Davis is there, but Hosmer will take it himself. So a team finally breaks through against Wade Davis, and we head to the bottom of the 9th. The Indians lead for the first time, and the Indians bullpen will face Moustakas, Kane, and Hosmer. take on the Royals. That is a Saturday afternoon game. And then it's baseball night in America. And an AL Central matchup with the Tigers and the White Sox. Coverage begins at 12:30 on your home for baseball every Saturday, Fox and Fox Sports 1. Nick Hagedorn is on for the Indians in the bottom of the 8th inning. Moustakas, Kane, Hosmer. If anybody gets on, Morales. Ball 1-2 Moustakas.
Hagedorn 92-96 with that fastball. He's got a good hard slider. He'll be throwing to Moose.
.94 with a fastball, 1-1. Another strikeout pitcher with 19 and 18 and 2/3 innings. He has given up 3 home runs.
Oh man! Take one for the team.
Say we'll take it.
Take one for the team right there. Just missed his jersey. Definitely trying to tie Moose up. Oh, that jersey, where are you?
Two and two. Fastball coming in at 95.
Now he might show him that slider. One of the 3 homers he's given up was to a left-handed batter.
Still alive at 2-2.
Staying with the cheese.
Royals scored first tonight. And with 2 outs in the 3rd, Moustakas scored on a Hosmer single. And the very next half inning, Brandon Moss hit a 2-out solo home run to tie it. And we were stuck at 1-1 until, with 2 down in the 8th inning, Michael Brantley singled in Jason Kipnis. That'll be out of play.
Hagedorn staying with that fastball on Moose, trying to tie him up inside. Getting that little pop up he's trying to get. Two-strike approach for Moose. Try to go to the left field.
In on his hands, and he pulls it foul. Man, how did he get around on that?
Got a really nice at bat going here. That ball was up and out of the zone, but it's too inviting. I mean, you know, that ball is in on his hands. Low 90s was pretty impressive. Kept his bat intact.
There's the breaking ball, and Kipnis will throw him out, 1 away. So Hagedorn on to face just 1 hitter. And now Lorenzo Cain coming up. And this is where Terry Francona uses every reliever he can get his hands on in the later innings. And it'll be Shaw to face Lorenzo Cain with 1 down in the bottom of the 8th. Brian Shaw comes on to face Lorenzo Cain.
Brian Shaw, he's a good pitcher. He's got a good, strong fastball, but he's got an excellent cut fastball as well. He'll cut that baby 90 to 96, slider, curve, and change. He's got them all. Most likely in for this, just Lorenzo Cain. He's got another lefty up in that bullpen. And you know what makes it difficult is that Shaw throws across his body, so he's very deceptive. A little crossfire action.
Well, this is what Terry Francona likes to do with his bullpen in the later innings. But the matchups also favor him as well. Mike Moustakas had been 0 for 4 against Hagedorn. Lorenzo Cain is 1 for 9 against Shaw, and if Francona goes to Zepchinski, the lefty warming up against Eric Hosmer, who's on deck, Hosmer is 1 for 9 against Zepchinski. 2-1 to Cain.
There's that cutter. Shaw wanted that one, just missed.
And a few pitches in this inning and last inning where Indians pitchers have gotten the Royals to swing of pitches out of the strike zone in hitters counts. There's Zepchinski getting ready for Hosmer. So instead of 3-1 to Cain, it's 2-2. Full count.
Wood biting on the slider.
Royals should feel confident. They have done very well in the later innings this year. And in their 6 prior games with the Indians bullpen, their ERA against the Royals is over 7. So I don't think there's anybody in the Royals bullpen that scares them where you think, oh gosh, we just got to stay away from this guy. And again, Cain didn't mean to do it, and it's still 3-2.
Just looked too good. He couldn't make up his mind whether to lay off it or take a full rip. That ball looked like it had been ball 4. Both batters in this inning, man, they are battling tough. Moose, he saw a lot of pitches. Now Lorenzo Cain, he's really fighting off those borderline pitches and hoping that Shaw will give him something that he can lay out there and beat it out, or a clean single, or even more. He'll take a walk, anything to get on base here.
There's that cutter that started inside and catches the inside. 2 down, and out comes Terry Francona.
Yep, that cut fastball is a really good one for him, and it just froze Lorenzo. And he swung at a pitch like that, like it was about a half a foot inside, and he just couldn't get his bat on that one. He tried to milk a walk, didn't work.
The Royals have 1 run on 5 hits, and that run was driven in back in the 3rd inning with 2 outs by Eric Hosmer.
Yep, clutch hit there. Not a lot of runs scored tonight, though. Some really good pitching on both sides. Zepchinski 87-92 with his fastball, curveball, and a changeup he'll throw to righties. Fastball, curve. There's a curveball for strike 1.
Mentioned a moment ago that Hosmer in the past against Zepchinski is 1 for 9 with a couple of walks. Two balls, 1 strike. Kendrys Morales, a switch hitter, waits on deck, and then after him another left-hand batter. So if Hosmer gets on, does Terry Francona stay with Zepchinski, or does he go with the right-hander warming up, McAllister?
Well, he's going to have to see which side he wants Morales on now, but Hosmer here, 2-2. We'll wait and see. That's not their closer up. Usually you're not going to get one of your guys up if you're not going to use him.
Got him with a pitch that was not a strike. So it took a half hour, but the Indians get the Royals 3 up, 3 down in the 8th inning. Drew Butera takes over for Salvador Perez, and remember, Sal was dinged by a foul ball off the mask 2 innings ago, and then as Wade Davis was pitching in the 8th inning, and as they were reviewing the call that they hacked, the training staff went out to talk to Salvador Perez on the mound, and they had decided to give Sal the rest of the night off. So Hochevar on the mound and Butera behind the plate.
Hoch be working that fastball. He'll go low to mid 90s with that pitch. He's got an overhand curve and a slider he'll use, all 3.
Chisenhall is 0 for 3 tonight with a couple of strikeouts. Two and one. Last time Hochevar pitched was 9 days ago. The Royals have used a couple of relievers tonight who hadn't pitched in a while. Morales and now Hochevar. Broken bat. Rios coming up. Rios off of his glove, and Chisenhall will go into second base with a double.
Unusual to see a play like that where the fielder gets to the ball, especially the outfielders, and gets his glove on it but can't hang on to it. He got a late break as full swing but jammed him. Rios was coming in and just off the end of his glove.
Gomes takes a strike. Gomes is 0 for 3. One of his outs was a line out to center field. That was back in the second inning. One and one.
I hope Salvador's all right. It's a good thing that ball that was fouled off of his mask hit off the side. It didn't hit him square. It could have been a lot worse.
Tied him up. 1 and 2 on Gomes. Couple of, not at the same time, but a couple of former University of Tennessee Volunteers hooking up here. Infante makes a play, one down. Hochevar played with Gomes' predecessor at Tennessee, J.P. Arancibia. Chase Headley also played at Tennessee. Julio Bourbon, remember him, outfielder with the Texas Rangers. Pretty good. 4 big leaguers right there.
Price
at a Vanderbilt,
same state,
which is in Tennessee.
Okay.
Good call, Hud.
I was trying to get in there.
Michael Bourne sort of began the rally in the 8th inning, which resulted in the Indians' go-ahead run. He reached with a walk. Then the replay reviewed non-double play. And I wonder how much that will be discussed. Ned Yost has to be very careful about that after the game, but I'll still be curious to hear their side of the story.
That turned the game around.
Yep. One and two. Now I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but here's how I feel. You want to know how I feel?
Yeah, go ahead. You never hold back.
It feels like there have been more call stands this year than last year to perhaps protect the the umpires that are here at the stadium. Both ways, not just against the Royals, but we've had some plays this year where we thought, ah, shoot, the Royals are out of the inning. That's definitely a double play. No, call stands. It just seems to be a more conservative approach, especially at plays at first base on replay reviews. Hosmer to Hochevar, 2 down.
Well, it does seem a little bit different than last year.
Unless Major League Baseball is trying to correct something from last year and they're saying, look, man, there were too many liberties on calls that were not clear and convincing, both with capital C's. Unless Major League Baseball has said something, I don't think it's a coincidence that there have been several plays this year where, and remember, these are Major League umpires making calls in New York. They know what it feels like to be embarrassed in front of 30 or 40,000. It just seems as though the umpires here are being protected more by the umpires there in New York. There, I said it.
Could be. Murphy stepping in. He's 6 for 16 with a couple of pinch hit homers. This guy here is, you don't see a lot of pinch hitters in the American League. Murphy, he's done well. He's got 2 weapons he uses off the bench, Murphy and Rayburn, a righty and a lefty.
Alex makes a play in left field. Luke Hochevar works around a leadoff double. Last chance for the Royals, bottom of the 9th inning. Morales, Gordon, and Rios coming up.
Time to go. Walk-off time.
Game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Jeremy Guthrie bouncing back just like Ned Yost expected. With the help of his defense, first hitter of the game, that set the tone. Guthrie stayed down in the zone, pounded the strike zone, got ahead of hitters, showed what he can do with 92 to 94. Good hair on that fastball today for Guthrie. Nice job.
I mentioned it an inning ago that coming into tonight, the Indians bullpen, their ERA against the Royals this year is over 7. So far, the bullpen has gotten the job done as Terry Francona used 3 relievers to get through the 8th. Mike Aviles will take over at shortstop. But this is, all due respect, this is not a bullpen the Royals fear. And here's Cody Allen. On one hand, he's 11 out of 12 in save opportunities, but look at that ERA, 5.24.
Fastball, curveball. He's a 2-pitch guy, and he likes his fastball, and that's what he's got. He's going to challenge hitters. Wind is blowing in and a little bit towards left center field. Coming right in there and strike one. Morales just pulled off of it a hair, 96 miles an hour.
That hard bite at the last moment. 0-2 from Allen to Morales.
You see him snapping that down. That's his curveball, power curve.
You don't normally see Kendrys miss a pitch that badly.
No, he told me he was guessing dead red all the way. Allen might try that pitch again.
3 pitches. Down goes Morales. So the Royals, who are typically the hardest team to strike out, have struck out 11 times tonight and 8 in the 3rd innings.
Well, he left that one up.
Now here's a better matchup for the Royals as Alex takes a strike. 0 for 2 tonight with a walk, but 3 out of 4 with a double and 2 home runs against Cody Allen. So he's faced him 5 times and he's reached 4 times with 3 extra base hits. That bounce before he made contact?
I'm not sure. I wasn't sure if he.
I think it did. Yep.
Wow. Boy, he takes a full swing on that. He could have got a base hit. There's only one other player I've ever seen hit a bouncing ball like that for a hit. That was Vladimir Guerrero.
One and 2 to Alex.
Allen going with his secondary pitch now. Only thrown 1 fastball, and that was to Morales. He fouled it off. The rest have been curves.
Royals, by the way, have not had a base runner since 1 out in the 4th inning. Indians pitchers have retired 15 straight, make it 16 in a row. And now 12 strikeouts for Indians pitchers against the Royals tonight.
Allen's got that curveball working. No wonder he's staying with it. Good location on the inside.
On the ground to Chisenhall. And the Cleveland Indians take game 1. So the Indians have now won 11 of their last 14 games. And the Royals have dropped 6 of their last 7. As the Royals come up with 1 run, 5 hits. And another big strikeout game for the Cleveland Indians pitching staff. So a rare loss in game 1 of a series for the Royals as Cleveland takes it 2-1. Coming up shortly, Boulevard Royals Live with Joel and Monty out in left field. Highlights from tonight's game.